You've had a few trials and tribulations in the last few episodes with the Wicked Witch.
Yes, we have.
Defeating yourself for courage.
Facing your ultimate fear, Charming's ultimate fear, which is failure. You know, he's a very proud man, so he doesn't admit failure or being frightened very easily. So he had to face that, and I think once he did, it gives him a sense of freedom.
What was it like shooting that scene, though?
Amazing. We were shot by one of our great directors called Ralph Hemmicker. I had to play both, so it kept switching back and forth, but it was a great opportunity to be able to do that.
Because it's so weird when you see it, it's like you were basically holding your own neck.
Yeah.
It's a very intense scene, too.
Thanks. I mean, that's what we were hoping with it, so it was great to play that side of it, and what would fear look like, what would failure look like personified in Charming. So that's what we were going for.
Excellent job.
Thanks.
The original Wizard of Oz story had a cowardly lion who lacked courage.
Yes.
Is this a purposeful parallel?
Well, I was hoping they'd write me the song. I was hoping I could come out and sing the song. But yeah, I think it's absolutely a parallel for sure. She's taken his courage, or in essence of his courage. I think he got it back in the end, but she still has it. She's got a heart. She's got Gold's brain. So what else does she need? She's taken his mind. She's Gold is like her puppet. So she needs all these things, all these ingredients for something really, really nasty that's going to affect all of us. So let's hope we can stop her.
Especially before she gets the baby.
Yeah, well, this is the other big thing, and now she's after the baby, and that's obviously not going to fly with Charming or anyone else. So they're going to have to do what they can to protect her.
I would love to see her try to take the baby from Snow.
Oh, me too. Bring it.
Yeah.
Snow would take her down so quickly. Yeah. Bring it, witchy.
Well, it seems like, on the more domestic side, there's a lot more interesting things now that, Henry kind of remember anything and trying to be able to
Yeah.
But,
taking him driving,
which was very, very ill-advised.
Never ever letting Jared drive my car in real life.
So, can you talk about a little bit about sort of the balance of the more mundane, everyday sort of explorations of the relationships underlying these sort of
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting because it's like there's never anything mundane that goes on in Storybrooke ever. Or in Fairy Tale Land, there's always like something going on. But, the relationships, of course, that's what's so great about playing characters on TV is that they just keep growing, they keep changing, they keep deepening. And particularly, with Henry not knowing who anyone is, not knowing that David and Mary Margaret are his grandparents and that they have this history together, is I guess it's a little bit hurtful to David and Mary Margaret, but they know the deal. They've dealt with curses before a couple times, so they're going to just wait it out and see what happens, and as they always do, as these heroes always do, try to fix it and try to make it better, and try to get everybody to their happy ending. So, again, like we saw in the first part of the season with Neverland, everyone's going to have to pull together, and every villain and hero alike are going to have to come together and try to defeat this wicked, wicked witch.
So, as Emma's father, what do you think about Hook trying to make the moves on her?
As a father of anyone, particularly a girl, he's never going to be happy with anybody, regardless. Regardless. I mean, I think he would probably rather her not end up with a pirate, but he's not going to be happy with anyone. So at the end of the day, it's going to be her choice, and I think, Hook is obviously, he sways a lot back and forth, whether he's good, whether he's bad, and I think he's seen good parts to Hook for sure, in Neverland, he helped save David's life in Neverland. And he's seen the good side to him. And David's no fool either, He says in the speech, was it the second season or this season? I can't remember now, where he says, we are both, to the town. We are both our good experiences, our bad experiences. And that goes to the same. We're both our good parts and our bad parts. And no character in Once Upon a Time is completely bad or completely good. There's always circumstances that lead to the other. So, I just all he wants for her is to be happy. He's never going to be happy with anybody,
Yeah.
regardless who it is.
Are the characters going to debate whether or not to just tell Henry what's going on? Because he's got to start to wonder at a certain point.
I think so, and I think he is probably starting to wonder, and I think, but they know that wouldn't be the way to do it, because they would just look at him like he would just look at everybody like they're crazy. But I think that's going to that will be resolved at some point soon. And of course, sorry, I'm just rambling right now. And in the next couple of episodes coming up, particularly 19, we're going to find out about this curse. We're going to find out who cast it and why it's affected everybody, why this missing year has happened. We're going to find that out. There's a decision back in Fairy Tale Land that Regina, Snow, and Charming make that affects everyone. So we're going to find out some major information in the next coming episodes. Sorry.
Well, I had a question related to that. Are we going to find out more about that year that they're missing?
Yeah,
what happened?
Absolutely. We'll find out more, and we're going to find out who cast that curse, finally.
Getting to that end of that year.
Yeah, episode 19, 319, we'll find that out. So not this Sunday, but next. Yeah.
What can you tease about tomorrow night's episode?
Again, it's watching more of this wicked witch and Zelena and what she's up to in Storybrooke and how it's affecting everyone and what everybody's going to do about it. We're trying to figure it out, so we're trying to get to the bottom of it and trying to figure out a way to stop it.
There was one particular scene, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago, where you go into the nursery and you're like, you can't believe the nursery's already built. The dream sequence, and then it becomes really dark. And the way that you looked at Emma when she was going through that,
it was awful.
So what did you draw from that? Because you had the look of terror on your face.
Well, I think it was that. It was that whole, that whole idea of him failing her, and there she was, all grown up, dressed as a princess. The first time we'd ever seen her in a princess outfit, and that's everything that he ever wanted for her. That's, he wanted her to grow up in the Enchanted Forest, in the castle, and have that life as a princess. And there she was, standing in front of him, and she was going to a ball, and he was teaching her how to dance, and it was like this moment where he could be her father. And then she was just being ripped away from her. I mean, that's terror. I mean, that's terror for him for sure.
It was a really emotional scene, and it was something that just stuck in my head.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. In fact, that was my favorite. One of my favorite scenes from that whole episode. When I read it, and it was the opening scene to the whole episode. I thought Eddie and Adam just did a great job. I mean, it's a great scene for both those characters. Even though it was a nightmare. To have those characters have that moment of the thing that they've always wanted, family and a daughter, and to be a father, and to have that moment, and then to have it literally ripped away from you. It was a great scene to play.
Yeah, because in a lot of the episodes, you see Mary Margaret and Emma have really hearts-to-hearts and really emotional, personal scenes. And when we see Emma and David interacting, it's more, we got to get this done, we got to do this, we got to do that, and there's not really that emotional connection. So when I saw that, it was one of the yay, finally, dad can be dad.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think it was a great scene and great to play.
With so many flashbacks and now with the forgotten year, how do you keep the timeline straight in your head?
We have a script supervisor that keeps everything straight for us. I mean, I keep my own kind of log of what's happening, what's going on, and where I am at any given time. But of course, the nature of filming. You film out of sequence all the time, and you don't really quite know what's happening from day to day. So you just have to keep it straight, and we have a lot of people around us that help us do that.
With the baby coming, I think they touched a little bit on Emma's reaction to them having a baby.
Yeah.
Are we going to see a little more of that, how she feels about
Absolutely.
seeing them?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be coming, and you'll see how she reacts to that, and absolutely, that'll be in the next few episodes.
Is there a particular Disney story you'd still like to see covered on the show?
Oh, I mean, I don't know if I can tease this or not, but all I'm going to say, and I'm really excited about it, is the finale of this season. Just wait to see who you meet. That's all I'm going to say about it, and I'm very excited about it.
Zola?
Can't say, but possibly.
One of the other things that kind of hasn't been addressed, at least not in the more recent episodes, are the townspeople being turned into flying monkeys. And
Yeah.
do we get to see kind of? That seems like it would be a pretty big campaign to try and go free those people. Is that good?
Yeah. Well, it's hard to talk about this without giving things away, but things hopefully in that area will be dealt with and resolved in one way or another.
Will you get to meet Emma's almost fiance, who is also a monkey, who is also
You know what? Charming has no interaction with him whatsoever. So, not at this point. But who knows what could happen next season. Anything could happen.
Can you talk about how the loss of Neil is still being felt by everybody?
I think it was a huge loss and a huge shock, and I think it's on everybody's mind, and it also makes everybody even more determined to fix this and get rid of this witch, get rid of Zelina, and then come back as a family. It's just like we're all trying to get to that happy ending. We're all trying to get to that point where we all can be together and be happy, or everybody be happy in their own individual lives. So, I think it's a huge loss that's felt with everybody, and it's also a huge driving force. Anything else?
I'm going to ask, since you're talking about the finale, Once Upon a Time tends to kind of reset each season and have something new or new theme coming. Is that where this
It's
season
not
is,
going to
or
disappoint you this
is
time.
that similar?
Yeah.
All right.
Always.
Reset button.
Reset
Once
button. Yeah.